everybody, in today's video I'm going to go through Archie's milk allergy and reflux problems. Hi everyone, my name's Chloe and I am the mum to a little girl called India and also a 6-week-old little boy called Archie, and on this channel you can expect to see anything from parenting reviews to lifestyle hacks. So if you're new here, please think about subscribing and let's get straight into that video. So my little boy Archie is 6 weeks old, and from day one, unknowingly, we have had reflux problems. So I have got some notes here because a lot has happened. So if you see me looking down, that's why. But I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what's gone on. So if you've got a baby who also has potentially showing some of these signs, then you know that your child might have reflux or a milk allergy. So we've had breastfeeding problems from day one. He basically wouldn't latch, he would click a lot, and he was always sick after a feed. That was supposedly going to be resolved because he had a posterior tongue tie which was then snipped. So then we went to a health visitor who also saw that Archie still wasn't latching properly, and we came to the conclusion that he might have a high palate, which is why he's not latching properly. So in the early days we used to use Dentanox first, and then we tried Infocol, but Infocol was a problem because it takes a few days to work and we didn't really want to wait a few days. And then when he hit 4 weeks old, we tried him with gripe water because we always thought he had colic, just to relieve his stomach of air quite a lot. And also he was a very, very hard baby to burp. He would not burp easily. So then what happened over a few days is he was always a bit sick after a feed, but then there were 2 nights. There was Sunday night where he threw his whole milk feed back, and Monday night as well. So then on Tuesday I decided to go to the doctors to make sure it wasn't something else, and the doctor did say potentially it could be reflux and would we like to try Gaviscon. I denied trying the Gaviscon because he wasn't a severe reflux baby, and I know that Gaviscon can make some babies constipated, which wasn't something I wanted to put Archie through. So I denied it and took him away from the doctor. But the doctor also did say, is he throwing anything else up? I said he was throwing up a bit of green. The doctor did say if he throws up any more green to bring him back, so we need to take a look at that. So there was one day where Archie brought up quite a lot of green, and I'm talking more like a lime green rather than a dark green. And so we went back to the doctors, and the doctor was worried, so he rang the paediatric team at the hospital and they said to bring him in. So we went straight up to the ward where we were observed from 10:30 in the morning till about 6 o'clock at night with India in tow, which was an interesting day. But they wanted to see his green, they wanted to see what he was bringing up. The first doctor basically said that it could be one of 3 things. It could be bile, reflux, it could be twisted intestines, or it could just be reflux. Then a registrar came who really annoyed me and basically said it was the way I was breastfeeding, there was nothing else to it. He wasn't, a problem baby, I was positioning him wrongly. And yeah, she drove me insane because she wasn't listening to me at all about my worries and about the fact that he still wasn't latching properly. Luckily, she then went home, and then in the evening we saw another registrar who basically said, look, if he throws up green again, we want you to go straight to Sheffield to the surgical team and have them assess him, because they thought it might be bile, which is really quite not the way you want to go, because then they have to surgically repair the stomach. But then she wasn't sure whether this was the right way to go, so then she went to speak to her consultant, and the consultant came back and basically said he's got reflux. He was going to prescribe him Gaviscon, which we did accept by this point because it was getting a little bit stressful. And then we read on the discharge notes that he was also possibly diagnosed with what is called CMPA, which is cow's milk protein allergy, and this was completely new to us. The annoying thing is that earlier on in the day when I first saw the first registrar, I had said to her, could it be a milk allergy? And they were like, no, not a milk allergy, he hasn't got a rash, he isn't this, he isn't that. And this consultant is like, possibly a milk allergy. And I'm like, why did nobody tell me this? So the consultant basically said, if there is any more green, then you need to come back to the hospital. We tried the Gaviscon for about 48 hours. It made him constipated straight away and actually made him worse. So we pulled him off the Gaviscon. Then a few days later, he had brought up more green. So we took him back to the hospital and we ended up on the ward again. So then we saw another consultant who then prescribed us something called ranitidine. The frustrating thing about ranitidine is that it comes in a big bottle like this, and you can only have it open for a month before you have to go and get a new bottle. That's a little frustrating, but we live with it because it's just such a waste. That's why it's so frustrating. So the other thing was I decided to go dairy free. I am on day 5 of being dairy free, and so far potentially it's worked out really, really well. Archie's face has cleared up. I'll insert a picture here basically showing what his face is like once I've fed him and how it flares up. The other thing is that he has the most horrendous poos. They're like water. They have got worse recently, but actually I think he had a poo yesterday that was a little bit more solid, and that's getting better. So potentially the dairy free is working. We're seeing the consultant soon, and also hopefully we're seeing a dietitian soon. I've also joined a few Facebook groups as well to help me. So the ones I've joined are it's called Main Group CMPA Support. There's one called Breastfeeding CMPA Support and Support, Reflux and CMPA Babies Silent CMPA Babies, and then Silent Reflux, CMPA and Intolerance. They are the Facebook groups that I've joined. They're all really, really helpful, and I use them all for different things. So I think the ranitidine is helping a bit, but I do think the dairy free is helping a lot more. In terms of other symptoms, he gets a stuffy nose at night. He has very sensitive skin when we are cleaning him up from a nappy, and also obviously he has the runny poos and the potential rash. I saw my health visitor today, and he did say that it did sound like he has CMPA, which is the cow's milk protein allergy, and we're doing the right thing by going dairy free. So we are going to wait till we speak to the dietitian as to when we reintroduce milk, and also when we probably wean him off the ranitidine. It is really tricky at the moment because we've just had Easter, so I can't have any of the nice Easter eggs, but I have a nice stash waiting for me for next year when I do come off my dairy. So that's kind of like my reward for going dairy free. But if you enjoyed this video and you found some of this useful, then please hit the subscribe button, give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to follow me on my social media. Okay, thanks for watching guys, bye!